Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to show you guys the 6-piece ongoing directive, and I would like for us to have more of a detailed conversation about it. Now, I'll show you the 6-piece, but if you haven't seen it, if you already have seen it, please bear with me. And let's just kind of share ideas and see what is going on here. So I would say first things first, we'll look at the 6-piece and then we'll look at maybe scenarios that we could use it for. But I would say largely what we are missing from this 6-piece is context, and I'll explain after we finish and run through this part of the video. So the 2-piece gives us 20% weapon handling. Now that seems like a decent stat, but there's another talent that actually gives you 25% weapon handling when you're in cover. It's called braced, and it rolls on the knee pads. There's also the 3-piece, which gives you burn damage, 25% burn damage, which I think is burn damage that's inflicted by your weapon. I don't know if it's burn damage that's also inflicted by other factors, like if you blow up something and the enemies are burning, maybe the burn damage is extra because of you. I still need to figure that out, or maybe Massive needs to actually explain. Because I'm a survivalist and I love using my incendiary grenades. If this is adding 25% burn damage, then I'm happy. It also is going to give you 25% bleed damage, and I don't know where that bleed damage is going to come from. Maybe a concussion grenade, maybe if you somehow trigger bleed on some NPC, it will give you more bleed, or maybe it's from your weapon. I remember watching Marco's video and he explained and said it's probably from your weapon. I can't necessarily remember exactly how he put it, but we need to also find out if there are other factors that will give you extra burn and bleed damage as well. Now, the 5-piece is called Emergency Requisition, which says combat resources, armor kits, ammo, grenades within 40 meters of you are automatically collected. This occurs every 30 seconds. This is a very good, very good 5-piece talent, but it's not measurable in the sense that for 5 pieces of items, this is not really worth farming for 5 items to be able to do this. And so I guess we'll see. Maybe that actually is something that will work. And then the 6-piece is called the right tool. This says killing an enemy with a weapon grants some special ammo, incendiary, explosive to one of your other weapons. Now the way this works is if you take out an NPC, you'll just get special ammo, but you have to swap weapons to actually use it. And it's actually quite annoying in a sense because you kill the NPCs, and when you're in the middle of combat, you're running around, you're doing cover to cover, and then when you change, when you're like, wait, where's my special ammo? And then you're like, oh, it's on my LMG. And so you have to swap LMGs, or maybe, God forbid, you're using a shotgun, and now you have shock ammo on it, because I think I got shock ammo, and that's what I wanted to point out here. I found some shock ammo on my weapon, and I fired to these NPCs, and they all like shocked and, you know, got still, and it literally helped us with some good crowd control because we got rushed in that area. And I saw a good use for the Gearset, but I'm surprised where the shock ammo came from. Perhaps the 5-piece collected all the ammo, all the special ammo around the area, or maybe when I picked up, but I still had to open another special ammo case in one of the floors. And so I don't really know where that shock ammo came from. I'm really almost confused, but here's the clip. I mean, it's right here where I fired and, you know, I shocked pretty much 2 NPCs. And so there's a lot to actually digest here. And so this brings me into the questions that I have. Now, this gear set reminds me of Final Measure. You know, if you remember the Division 1, when Final Measure was released, there were a lot of questions that a lot of people asked. I mean, it was supposed to be released for the Incursion. I don't even remember the name of the Incursion that we used to play there with the Rikers. And Final Measure seemed really underwhelming. I mean, it was underwhelming. And then over time, the developers were able to fine-tune it to work for that Incursion and also work in the Dark Zone and in general gameplay overall. This might be the case with the gear set like this. So I wouldn't sleep on owning this gear set. But right now, I would not even own the gear set because we're missing context. It's a gear set that doesn't have anywhere to use it. Because I think the developers are designing these raids for us to actually find specific gear in order to use and leverage to go in there. And then they'll be able to do some really special stuff. Because I can see how this 5-piece, if you're in cover, this can really be very good for you. Now, if this gathered it for all your teammates, then that will be something that I would say that's a solid utility build right there. If all your teammates were just getting their their armor kits and grenades restocked while they're in an area, then I mean, within 40 meters, that's actually quite decent. I would say that would be a well done 5-piece bonus, but we don't know yet. We don't have a raid, and so I want to reserve all of my judgment, but I also want to hear your thoughts in the comment section, because in this gameplay clip that I have, when I switched to my other gear sets, there was basically no comparison with how much damage this gear set is lacking. This gear set is not a damage gear set. So if you come to it judging from a damage perspective, it is definitely not going to fulfill that. But what I'm trying to understand is, I know the build is supposed to be a support build, but we don't see much of the utility right now, because from the invaded missions, the regular missions, we don't really see the need to actually run this. Now, as a solo player though, think about it. As a solo player, this might be a nice build to run. The only problem is there are talents on our gear that outperform builds like a build like this. So I can see where this build is hanging in limbo and doesn't have anywhere where it fits in our whole gameplay right now. But until the raids are released, then we're probably going to be like, that's probably what this is for. But for now, there's a question mark hanging over the community's heads, and everybody's thinking we don't know what this gear set's for. But these are my thoughts, these are my opinions about it, and I'll try my best to bring you guys another video for the True Patriot. Right now I have only 4 pieces, and I also wanted to give a shout out to my buddy Bullhanger for hooking me up with one of these holsters, and I don't really know which one it was. I was able to eventually farm and get another one, and it took me hours and hours before I got this 6-piece, but I'm also very thankful to my family for putting up with me and being patient with me to run through multiple missions, and they were kind enough to just say, all right, Dad, make sure you get these 6-piece and make the video. So shout out to them, shout out to those who made all this 6-piece happen, and I guess that's all I have. Anyways, don't forget to leave comments, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Peace.